What's up, y'all? Top 3 back with another video, and today we're gonna be talking about animes that started out good but ended out bad.
Started out really good and ended out really bad.
This is gonna be controversial.
It is controversial.
Because in this video, we might be talking about some of your favorite animes.
Yes, we will be.
It just has to be said.
It does.
It just has to be said. But I want to start out with the obvious one.
Okay.
Whenever I say this statement,
Yeah.
most people think of one anime.
Okay.
And that anime is The Promise Neverland.
Right. Absolutely.
Listen. The Promise Neverland, that first season, that was probably one of the best first seasons of anime I've ever watched.
Any anime.
I gotta put
any anime.
Hey, that might be top 10, maybe even top 5 first season of anime.
Oh, absolutely.
Because every single episode left you in suspense. You wanted to see what happened next.
100%.
It was absolutely greatness.
100%.
Until we got to season 2. I need to take a deep breath before I even talk about this.
Okay. I think before men need to understand, like, Promise Neverland's first season was one of the best.
Spectacular.
One of the best of the best. So when we make this list, I want you guys to understand these first seasons were absolute peak. Like, they had the potential to touch GOAT level.
Mm-hmm.
If Promise Neverland kept the consistency it had from season 1 and carried it into season 2, it would have been one of the greatest animes of all time.
100%.
The direction, the plots, the characters, everything about that anime was absolutely peak. So when we talk about bad, we mean it got really
bad. Really bad.
Super bad.
We gotta talk about, they took out arcs from the anime. I mean, from the manga. They completely left out good arcs. Like the Goldie Pond arc.
Yeah.
Why was that not in the anime? Why was that not there?
I can't.
That's one of the best arcs in the whole entire anime, and they just took it out.
I can't compute.
They didn't put it in.
And I'll never understand why animes do that. Like, why would you take out source material?
That's what I'm saying,
from the manga
and not put it in the anime? That does not make any sense.
I've never heard of an anime that's ever turned out good when you deviate from the source material. Deviating from the source material is when people are saying, okay, this is why anime is bad, this is why anime is trash, this is why you shouldn't watch it. It makes no sense. And what's funny is that animes are supposed to be a promotion for the manga. How are you promoting the manga properly when you are removing content from the manga?
And you got to think about this. At that time,
yeah,
The Promise Neverland, it was getting top 5 in manga sales.
Oh, easily. For
the year, bro. Like, it was getting top 5 consistently.
Yes.
For years.
It was peak.
So that would have to tell you something, that the manga part was good, but what they did in the anime was completely trash. The show is called The Promise Neverland. And tell me how The Promise was a 5-second slideshow.
That's another big thing with it. Like,
the biggest part of the anime was a slideshow.
So many times when
how are you doing that, bro?
I couldn't tell you.
How are you doing that?
I couldn't tell you.
That's like Naruto becoming Hokage, and it's just one picture. It is a picture of him in a hat, and that's it.
That is so funny, because I just feel like the anime itself, it was not hard to do. Promise Neverland is not a hard anime to adapt.
Not.
I think Promise Neverland probably has the potential to have one of the greatest live action adaptations, even if it had it. That's how easy I think it is to adapt it.
Really?
And they failed. And I don't know how.
Like, that anime, they had literally everything in their hands.
Music, OST, voice acting, character direction.
They had a fan base that was vibing with it.
Plot.
And they just dropped the ball just like that.
Like, was it time? Like, did they need more time? Like, nobody was rushing you. Nobody, bro. Like,
if they added another season of that, if they made like 3 seasons, I'm okay with that. Like, you can do that, bro. 4 seasons, you can do that as long as you get the story out and you do it properly. I'm okay with waiting.
That's what I mean.
I'm okay with it. You don't have to rush it.
I don't know why it should be a rush to rush out products that aren't finished. Yeah. It was clearly not finished. It clearly needed more time. But somebody on the direction team was like, oh, we got to get Promise Neverland out. We're going to lose the fan base. Well, guess what happened? You lost the fan base. You lost the fan base. You have no fan base.
Because that following season was one of the worst anime seasons I ever watched.
And now what happened? Everybody's...
One of the worst. Bro, it's a meme now.
Everybody's going to remember Promise Neverland for having one of the worst second seasons of all of anime. So I hope you enjoy that.
And the thing about Promise Neverland season 2, I feel like they made the characters fall off as well, bro.
Oh,
they made the characters fall off as well.
So bad.
Emma fell off. Norman fell off.
Ray fell off.
Fell off, bro.
And then all the other characters, I thought the side characters, like their little group of kids, would become more developed or a lot better. They stay the exact same.
Absolutely nothing.
Pacing was completely off. I didn't see any type of character development, any type of interesting plot developments. It was absolutely mid, lower than mid, garbage.
Trash can.
It's so worthless.
Scum.
I'll never watch
Worse than Scum.
Worse than Scum is crazy.
If you got that reference, you're a real one.
It's
you got that reference,
terrible.
you're a real one.
So bad. So, like, it pains me to put this on this list because
But it's got to go on there, bro.
it just undermines how good the first season was. You should honestly watch the first season and just leave it alone.
Yeah,
Just leave it alone.
I'll say watch the first season, read the manga for the rest.
Oh yeah, read the manga too. If you like manga, read it.
That's the best way to do it.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, you got another one?
Okay. So this is kind of a hot take, though. I think Death Note should be on this list. Now, I don't think Death Note is as drastic as Promise Neverland.
Definitely not.
Definitely not even close.
But it should be on this list, though.
It should be on this list because people don't understand how absolutely peak season 1 of Death Note was. Did I say La? No, L.
Got the wrong anime.
Bro, I was thinking about the wrong one. Okay, L and Light were absolutely crazy together. I think that is probably the top 3 best rivalries in all of anime.
Yeah, I'll have to say so.
And I think the rivalry was also kind of a side plot. Like, the main plot was about capturing Light, like who Kira is.
Yeah.
But then on the side, you have Light and L.
Feuding.
You have Light and Misa. The side characters were amazing. And Death Note did something I haven't seen a lot in a lot of animes, and I really want to bring it up. They used Light's father as such a beautiful plot device. Like, it's crazy. And in a lot of animes, I think I mentioned this before, anime parents don't have a lot of relevance.
Yeah.
But Light's dad is like a main character in that plot, and he adds so much character direction into it. It's insane.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll say the one thing about One Piece, that first season.
One Piece?
I'm sorry. You got me mixed up because of law.
I know, I was thinking about it still.
But yeah, I'll say, the one thing about... I was about to say Promise Neverland.
The one thing, yeah.
But the one thing about Death Note is that every single character in that first season had a purpose.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I liked about it. It's like there was no useless characters. There's no throwaway characters in that first season of Death Note.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I feel like they could have ended it after that season and it would have been perfectly fine.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
The whole arc with like Nier and what's his name?
Mello?
Yeah, the whole arc with Nier and Mello, that was not really needed. Like that kind of, it's like kind of like the sprinkles on top of the cake. Like you don't really need it. Like the cake's still good no matter what.
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like they kind of wasted their time doing that. Like they didn't have to do that. It's not something that they had to do.
I agree. I feel like in the first season, there wasn't a single episode that was wasted.
Yeah, not at all.
It wasn't wasted. Like, it was either showing some of Light's character, showing some of L's character, showing how far they're getting closer to capturing Kira. There was always something happening in those first 12 episodes. But I feel like in the later half of the season, a lot of episodes were spent on characters that weren't as interesting as season 1's characters. And I know it's kind of a hot take because season 2 had a lot of season 1's characters, but even characters like Nier and Mello, I don't think they compare to a character like L, like at all.
Like season two, it basically felt like season 1, but like the great value, like or like the B version of it. Like it felt like the downgrade version of season 1.
I kind of feel like season 2's only purpose was to make Light get defeated. And even when watching season 2, Light makes a lot of mistakes I don't feel like he would have made in season 1. So they kind of nerfed Light too. And I think that was a lot of people's problems with it as well. Also, like how Nier was able to uncover who Kira is.
Yeah.
But L wasn't.
That don't make no sense.
It didn't compute, you know?
It doesn't add up.
It doesn't. And it's just like they kind of made Light invincible. Like the way they were building him up, it was like nobody could stop him. And then somebody in 12 episodes comes and figures it out and
so
stops it. Some kid
comes
way
and figures
younger.
out the whole thing.
Yeah,
in a short amount of time.
Exactly.
So like it's like it doesn't make any sense. I'll say like that season it definitely wasn't needed.
Yeah.
And I think if they didn't have that season, Death Note would be higher up on my list when it comes to greatest anime.
I think if Death Note ended on a bad note, yeah, it would definitely be on a lot of people's top lists.
I think it'll be higher up on there.
Because a lot of animes don't have plots where the villain wins,
exactly.
the hero loses. So if it did that, it would kind of be like a Devilman Crybaby.
I was just
type
about to
of
say
thing.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only other anime I can think of that did like that.
Yeah, making the villain win is crazy.
And it's like, yo, like, well, why not do that? Like, why not be different? Why not stand out from the crowd? Like, I feel like that's what makes an anime more memorable.
I feel like the author was probably scared of the criticism he'd get if he ended the anime like that. But honestly, that would have been daring, and I think a lot of people would be for it. But as I said before, this is not as bad as Promise Neverland.
Oh no, but Promise Neverland, that might be the worst on the list.
I could still go and watch Death Note Part 2, and I could still enjoy elements of it. Like, I personally said this before. I don't mind Nier as much. Yeah, I don't mind Mello.
I don't hate him.
I don't mind Mello either.
Bro, I am not going back to watch season 2 of Promise Neverland.
Yeah,
I'm just not doing
Promise Neverland
I'm not going to waste my time again. I'm not going to waste my time again.
Completely different tiers. But yeah, it's definitely on this list.
But yo, I got another one. Because the anime that I think that went from good to bad is Man Wonderland.
Yeah.
Man Wonderland, bro. I have to say, because it does have one of the worst anime endings I have seen. Because the thing about the ending didn't answer any questions. Like, it didn't give us what we wanted at all. And it ended like so abruptly. I remember I seen the last episode, and I'm like, yo, like, am I missing something? Like, is there an extra episode?
So my opinion is kind of a hot take. I kind of feel like Man Wonderland's whole premise at the end was not bad. Now, I read the manga, and I know they took out some characters in the manga and they changed some plot threads. But even when I was watching Man Wonderland, I never had the feeling that the ending was bad. I could tell it was poorly paced, but I was still enjoying it. The only issue I had was the ending, not what led up to the ending.
Yeah, me too.
What led up to the ending, I thought was peak. Like, I thought Man Wonderland was the greatest.
Like, I'll say, like, that anime, it was like 95% good.
95% good. But
I think that ending, it made such a big difference that I had to put on the list.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because if you watch the first 3 episodes of Man Wonderland,
it's peak.
It's peak. It's absolutely peak. Like, it's set. I can't even say it's comparable to other shonens. It did its own thing, and it was peak. It was crazy.
Cause yo, like, I can't even really compare it to like other Death Game animes.
Yeah,
like, I think even in the Death Game anime category, it still stands out and it's still unique to itself.
And this might be another hot take, but I kind of feel Man Wonderland came out in the wrong era. Man Wonderland would have been highly regarded if it came like in this generation.
I disagree. I think the era came out was perfect.
Nah, because I feel like
I think that was it came out perfect time.
Nah, because I feel like people are they're into more grimier stuff, and Man Wonderland was grimy.
But I'll say this: if they dropped Man Wonderland in like this era, they 100% would have made season 2.
Oh, for sure.
100% they would have made
for sure.
Because I think the reason why they didn't make a season 2 of Man Wonderland back then is because the company went bankrupt or something like that. Like, they didn't have the money to do it.
But when you compare it to animes that are coming out that people enjoy, like Demon Slayer, JJK, Chainsaw Man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like dark,
100%.
bloody, grimy, like different type of plot twists and stuff. Man Wonderland had all of that. And in the generation where it was coming out, it was like Naruto was peaking, One Piece was peaking. People are still more interested in the stuff like Dragon Ball Z, but those were like basic shonen. But the shonen that are coming out like recently are a lot more darker. So that's why I'm thinking Man Wonderland, if it came out today, it would be a lot better.
I want to ask you this. So let's just say, okay, if Man Wonderland came out like in our generation, like in the new gen animation.
Yeah.
Let's say if it came out right now, and it stopped at season 1 again. Like, let's just say it stopped at season 1 and it never came out. Yeah. Do you think people would rate it the same as they would as when it came out like later on and it ended in season 1? Like, I think people would hate it even more if that happened now versus like a couple years ago.
They would hate it, but then there would be more demand for it. Because Man Wonderland is almost a decade old. Like, it's practically peaking right now.
But let's just say like the company, they still had the same problem. It still went bankrupt and they couldn't do it. So like in each situation, no matter what, there was no season 2.
But one of the reasons why there was no season 2 as well is because it wasn't well received in Japan, because people weren't enjoying it as much as other animes. I think if it dropped today, it'd be more enjoyed, there'd be more demand, and it'd definitely get a season 2.
But I don't think that the Japan part matters that much, because anime, like, that's big down here. Like, bro, it's still huge in like US, Canada. even like Latin America, Brazil, like anime is still huge. Like you don't even need the Japanese like fan base to really have a big anime nowadays.
I know, but I think back then when anime wasn't like as popular as it is now, having a fan base for your property was a lot bigger.
Yeah, like you needed it.
Needed it back then because it wasn't as publicized as it is in America. But right now, it's a lot more public in the worldwide. So I think if it dropped today, it'd be a lot crazier. And it would also have a lot more people watching it and there'd be more demand for it. You would agree, like anime has definitely gotten more worldwide as time passed, right?
But the thing is, nowadays people don't have patience, bro. Mans have no patience.
It's a 12 episode show, is what I'm saying.
Know, but the way that they ended, like people nowadays would not react the same way as how they did like 10 years ago.
I'm just not sure. It's so tricky because
bro, people nowadays they'll be saying, oh, just because the ending was like that bad, they'll be saying, oh, this is one of the worst animes of all time. You know how people are nowadays, bro.
But don't you feel like if it dropped,
if you mess up one thing nowadays, people are gonna say, oh, this anime is a flop.
But don't you feel like if it dropped today, it would definitely have a lot better writing and pacing? Like, I feel like directors have increased in their potential. I'm pretty sure if it dropped today, they wouldn't have cut off the content and they'd be able to make a better season 2.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that is true. But like, I'm just like, I'm assuming that like everything that happened like 10 years ago
just happened again.
So I'm just assuming like it's the same writing, same animation style, like same everything. But I'll say like, let's just say if they actually completed it. Like if they complete the anime in both generations, it would definitely hit better in the new generation. I would say that.
Yeah, definitely. Like if it dropped today, it would definitely hit a lot more.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, yo, another one I got for good, the bad anime is God of High School.
Yeah.
God of High School started out pretty good. Because it started with like me personally, I'm a big fan of like tournaments. Yeah. I love tournament animes.
Yeah.
And like I love seeing, because the thing I like about tournament animes is that you don't know all the characters yet. So when they're coming to like approach another character for a fight, like there's a mystery to them. You don't know what their superpower is, like you don't know what they can do, and all that stuff. And they did that for like the first half of the anime, and I thought like that was like pretty like exciting. But then when it got to the second part of the anime, that's when the pacing was all over the place.
I think
and
so.
They started bringing up what, gods and all that stuff.
I think so, and I think it hurt it a lot.
It hurt a lot because between one episode and another episode, it felt like I was watching 2 different animes.
And that's why for me personally, I think the first 3 episodes, I didn't know how it was going to be paced later on, so I was enjoying it. But when I see the later parts of the episodes, I was like, yeah, no, the story gone right out the window. So the only thing I was really watching it for was the fights. And what I would say about God of High School, to its credit, is that the fights were always consistently good.
They were.
Even if the plot was trash, and the plot being trash is an understatement. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Poor pacing. Poor pacing is such a serious thing. This probably has
one of the worst pacings of all time.
It is one of the worst pacings without a doubt. But I could definitely say when I was watching it, the fights were always consistent. So I could always go back and watch God of High School and say, okay, the fights were at least good. Just like Death Note, I could say part 2 was okay. I could say Man Wonderland was alright.
But the thing is, yo, when you're watching 2 episodes back to back, it shouldn't feel like you missed the episode. Like if I watch episode 11 and then I watch episode 12 and they're completely different, like, it shouldn't feel like, oh, like I like, did I miss something? Like, because that's the same reason, like that's the same way I felt when I was watching God of High School.
I agree.
Like I thought I missed like 2 or 3 episodes. Like
I agree.
I was checking my history. I was trying to see like all the episodes I watched, and it's like, nah, like this is.
I agree. It's a big issue, and this is when we go back to talking about pacing. Pacing is such a big issue in these animes. If God of High School simply gave itself another season, to take care of all that other mumbo jumbo, then it would have been highly regarded. But the fact that it wanted to put all of its eggs into the first season and messed up.
Yeah, bro.
That's what's the death of a lot of these new animes. You try to push all of it into 12 episodes, and that's a huge issue because you won't properly be able to tell the story in 12 episodes. You're limiting yourself.
See? Because that is what I like to call the Promise Neverland effect.
Yes.
Because that's how season 2 of Promise Neverland was. It's like the exact same thing as a God of High School.
And this is where I also go back to talking about, I think a director probably just pushes it, or somebody on the team pushes it and just say, okay, we got to get this out, and it's not ready. So they're just like, okay, we got to cover all this content, and I want you to do it in 12 episodes. And then all of a sudden, the animators and the writers and the directors are all scrambling because they don't know how they're gonna put all this content into 12 episodes. And then what happens? You get a mess.
I was like, even on top of that, like sometimes people they don't have the budget to do like 24 episodes.
And the budget is a serious thing.
And the thing is, see, here's the thing: they have an anime story they have a 24 episode anime story.
Yeah.
But they're putting it into a 12 episode anime.
And it's a flaw. It's such a big flaw.
So like at that point, I'm like, yo, there's no point in even putting the anime out. You might as well just keep it as a manga or manhwa or whatever it came out as. Like you might as well just not even put out the anime.
Yeah, like if you're not gonna put your 100% and properly follow the manga or the webtoon for that matter, I don't think it's good to just put it out. You gotta properly pace your shows before you just put it out, because then people are just gonna say it's bad.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you're gonna lose the fan base. Because I feel like the people do this because they don't want to lose their fan base, but then they end up losing their fan base anyways.
That's probably the biggest reason how you lose the fan base.
Because nobody talks about God of High School anymore.
Russian stuff.
Russian stuff. Just take your time.
That's how you lose a fan base.
That is. And a lot of people would be more hyped for an anime that's done well, even if it takes longer, than an anime you're rushing and you're just putting it out there.
Like listen, like I would rather have to wait, like, you know, like I'd rather wait 2 years for an anime for another season
of a good anime.
Exactly, than just have you rush it in one season.
Thank you.
I would rather wait.
It's actually not that difficult.
In the meantime, while I'm waiting, I'm gonna be watching other animes,
other shows.
So like, I'm not really gonna be thinking about it.
And I'm gonna remember how good that first season was,
Exactly.
and I'm gonna be like, okay, second season's gonna be good too because you're properly pacing.
And plus, while you're doing that, like you can build up the hype for the second season as well.
Exactly. You could drop OVAs.
Exactly.
You could drop a movie.
Like there's so much marketing you can do for that.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. They think anime is the only marketing. That's why they gotta push it out.
Nah,
there's so much other ways.
A lot more to it.
Video games, like sideshows, spin-offs, so much other stuff you can do. Oh, I got a beautiful one. Beautiful one. All right, this is gonna piss Josh off immediately, so I picked it up. So I gotta bring it up.
Here we go.
Boruto. So, listen to me. I think you can agree to this.
No, I can't.
Just.
I can't.
I'm pretty sure you could agree to this.
Say it.
Comparing Naruto to Boruto is very drastic, incredibly drastic. I think Naruto's writing, characters, the plot is a lot better than Boruto.
Okay.
Way better than Boruto.
That is true. That is true.
I think in the anime, Boruto has a lot of faults, and a lot of its faults is because of its fillers.
Okay.
And I could definitely say that Boruto's canon stuff, or the stuff when it's not focusing on all the filler, it definitely has. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Okay.
It's good. But I don't think it compares to Naruto. I think Naruto
Hey,
as a whole
listen.
is way better than Boruto, and it's not even up for comparison.
But that's not the question though. That's not what we're talking about. Because you were talking about animes that went from good to bad.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Boruto. So we're talking about the first season of Boruto towards the last season of Boruto. We're not comparing it to Naruto.
No. See,
Because
the way I see it, the way I see it, Boruto is a continuation of Naruto. So I think it's a fair statement to say that if I'm comparing Boruto to Naruto, I think that's what most people do anyways. So I think it's fair.
It's part of the Naruto universe, and it is part of Naruto.
It's a direct sequel to Naruto.
But to be honest, Boruto kind of is its own anime. It kind of is its own anime. Naruto's he's not the main character anymore, so like. It kind of is its own anime itself. When you really think about it,
I don't know.
It's his own thing. It's his own thing. So that's why when I take the statement of animes that went from good to bad, I don't agree with it, because I think the last few seasons of Boruto are way better than the first few seasons of Boruto.
And I think
because in the last few seasons, like you get the whole Kara arc, you get the whole thing with Kawaki, you get Ishiki, like you get so much stuff of content in the later seasons of Boruto compared to the first few seasons of Boruto.
And what I think is that every season of Naruto is better than Boruto.
We know that. We know that. But
I gotta bring it up because the drop in quality from Naruto to Boruto is drastic, and you know it. It's true.
I'm agreeing with you.
It's insane.
But that's not the statement though. The statement is
it's gotta be the statement
that went from good to bad.
Yeah. So Naruto went from good to bad.
But no, I'm not putting Boruto in with Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. I'm putting Boruto by itself. Yeah. So I'm saying if you put Boruto by itself and look at season 1 and season 2 of Boruto versus the last 2 seasons of Boruto, the later end seasons of Boruto are way better than the first 2 seasons of Boruto.
And I still don't think they compare to Naruto.
But that's not the comparison. That's not the comparison.
I still don't think it compares to Naruto.
So listen,
I think Boruto at
I
its
agree.
peak is still below the worst seasons of Naruto, and it's not
listen,
close.
I agree with you with that.
Yes.
See, if we were comparing Naruto and Naruto Shippuden to Boruto, then yes, I can say that.
I am doing that though because Boruto is a direct.
That's problem. That's problem.
No, it's not a problem.
I mean, you are arguing about 2 different things.
No. Because I know your point. I know your point.
We're arguing about
but
2
you're trying to explain to me that Boruto's early seasons are completely garbage compared to its later seasons.
Yeah,
that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
Boruto as a franchise is a sequel to Naruto. Everybody knows it. So I could compare Naruto to Boruto because it is a sequel. I could definitely tell you that the drop in quality from Naruto to Boruto is drastic.
Okay, so basically, so you're putting all 3 parts into one anime. That's where I'm putting Boruto onto like a separate.
So I know your point.
I'm classifying Boruto as its own anime.
Yeah.
Just because Naruto's not the main character anymore, but it's still in the same universe.
No, it is a sequel. It's not even in the same universe. It is a sequel.
I know. Yeah, it's a sequel.
Direct sequel.
It's a sequel, but like, but Boruto's not the same as Naruto.
I don't know how you can say that. It's a sequel though. It's a sequel.
It's not the same as Naruto though.
Okay, listen.
It's not the same as Naruto.
The thing is that you would have a point if Boruto was.
So that's what I'm saying. Boruto is its own anime.
Nah, I don't see it as its own anime. I see it as a sequel to Naruto. So when people say Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, I still see it as a Naruto anime, like and it's not like a spin-off. It's not like a spin-off of Boruto and his adventures. This is a sequel to Naruto. So when I'm talking about the drop of quality from Naruto to Boruto, I think it's fair to say it because it is a sequel.
Okay, but everybody agrees with that. No one's disagreeing with that.
Yeah, but that's why it's on this list. Exactly. That's why it's on this list.
Okay, so here's the thing.
It makes a point.
Here's the thing. Because low-key, we low-key both agree with each other.
Yeah.
For some point.
No, we should be. It should be an agreement.
Because low-key, we both agree. Because we both agree that if you're comparing all 3 of them as one anime and going from Naruto to Boruto, then yep, for sure, it definitely went from good to bad.
100%. 100%.
It 100% went from good to bad.
Too bad. Very bad. Very bad.
But I'm just saying, if you just keep Boruto and keep season 1, 2, and 3 of Boruto versus the last 3 seasons, then that means Boruto went from bad to good. If you think about it that way, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But it deserves to be on this list.
That's all I'm saying.
Does it deserve to be on this list?
If we're doing it your way, then it does. If we're doing it your way, then it does.
Oh my gosh.
If we're doing it your way,
crazy copium. So much copium. Oh my goodness.
Listen.
So much copium. Okay. I get you. You made your point.
I understand Boruto's not the greatest anime.
Shouldn't even be in that.
I understand.
Greatest and Boruto should never be in the same sentence.
And you know what? I agree with you.
Yeah, okay.
I just think that it's not as bad as people put it out as. I think it's not as bad as people put it out as. But I'm not.
I think it is. I think it is when it's compared to Naruto.
Listen, I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying it's amazing. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm saying, if man's are rating it like a 4 out of 10, I think it's like a 6.
Okay, all right, you made your point.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Very valid, but it definitely deserves to be on this list.
Here we go.
I'm just asking, does it deserve to be on this list?
There we go.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? Yeah. What do you guys think should be on this list? What do you guys think should be on this list? Put it down in the comments. We're gonna be reading through it. And guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on our video, our TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Discord is in the bio. So go share and check that out. Y'all go check that out, okay? And also our editor's link is gonna be in the bio too, so go check that out.
Sick.
Check it out.
Okay. Copium.
Goatee toe.